Hello there, my name is Mo, and welcome to my channel. Today I'm doing a pick a card reading based around what new energies are coming your way, or what new beginnings you have coming towards you this year, or just this month of February, or whenever you find this reading because my readings are timeless. Yeah. If you find value out of this reading, please don't forget to hit that thumbs up button or leave a comment in the comment section letting me know what you liked about it. And I'm always available for private readings over at momagics.com. And before we move over to your card selection, I just want to let you know about my disclaimer that I do not identify as a fortune teller, and you should be using my readings to confirm your intuition, right? My readings usually confirm things that you're already thinking or feeling, or signs that your ancestors, spirit guides, and angels are already sending your way. If you do not like anything, or if you don't feel that anything doesn't resonate within these readings, don't take it. You know what I mean? Take everything here with a grain of salt. I always say, if it don't apply, let it fly. You know what I mean? And then also remember to use your free will and your agency. Yes, because our free will is the strongest thing that we have, not the messages that I'm delivering to you. Correct? But yeah, let's go on over to the card selection. And to pick a pile, I suggest you find yourself in a nice, relaxed position, whether that be sitting or lying down, and you start taking even toned breaths, inhaling and exhaling. And then I advise that you take your time inhaling and exhaling as you look at each pile, focusing your energy and your intention on first the pile of cards beneath the crystal, and then the crystal. After focusing your energy on each card and crystal, and then identifying which pile is a vibrational match with where you are at right now, that is most likely the deck that you should be listening to. If you feel that you resonate with more than one pile, that is probably because there are additional messages in that pile for you. So I'll give you a couple of moments to identify which deck is yours, and then you can find the timestamps in the description bar or the comment section, and I'll see you over there. Alrighty, welcome, pal number one. If you chose pal number one, you chose this Aura Quartz crystal, I believe is what it's called. It's very beautiful. I use this connect to my higher self, and this should help you, open up your crown and connect and communicate with your ancestors, spirit guides, and angels. Yeah, I'm just trying to make sure y'all get a good view of it. Yeah, Angel Aura Quartz. Yeah. So I didn't mention this earlier on, but all the decks that I'm using are my newest decks. It only seemed fitting. This is probably the oldest one out of the four that I'll be using today. But if you want to find any of these decks, except for this one, this is a regular Rider-Waite deck from Intuitive Souls. You can find that link in my bio, but if you want to check out these Oracle decks or this Tarot deck, I'll be clarifying messages using the Cirque de Tarot today. All of those can be found in my Amazon storefront. Yeah, but let me pull these to the side. Alrighty. So you have the Temperance card, the Page of Cups in reverse, and the Six of Pentacles. Right, I'm getting, like, with this Temperance card, this usually refers to, like, it's definitely, like, new energy, but it feels like trying something new emotionally, right? And with this Page of Cups in reverse, I feel like this is related to your inner child. Okay, my neighbors are playing music. I'm not sure if you can hear it. I hope that you can't hear it, but if you can hear it, I apologize. Excuse me. I'll try to speak over it. Yeah. But yeah, this Page of Cups, it feels like it's in reference to a couple of things. For some of you, this is your inner child. And with the Six of Pentacles, right, it feels like you are going to be more tender with your inner child, or other people around you. They're just going to be more considerate of, like, vulnerable feelings that you have, right? And then for the other pile of you, you know what I mean, this Page of Cups, it feels like you have a hard time sharing your emotions or being vulnerable and being, like, tender, maybe not necessarily loving, but again, like, sharing some of these joyful, playful emotions. It's kind of like if they're showing me an image of a little kid who drew a painting, or they have this storybook that they want to share with somebody, and it's like, hey, check this out. You know what I mean? If you have a hard time doing that or sharing the things that you're excited about with other people, the Six of Pentacles is saying that new people are going to be coming into your life, and they're going to give you that same energy that you've been looking for. Yeah. So that's what's coming through, but it's only like with this Temperance card, it's like testing out the waters, right? I'm not getting that there's gonna be this like huge wave of people, but this Temperance card, you see, whenever I see the Temperance card in these two cups, right? Let me flip this so you can just look at it, right? When we see the Page of Cups, they're holding this chalice, right? But when we look at the Temperance card, they kind of have these two cups that they're working with, yeah? And this is talking about patience and virtuousness and like tempering things, right? Temperance. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. And I'm getting that you're going to start receiving more of this valuable energy that feels really good, really tangible, really exciting, but in small doses, if that makes sense. Yeah. But it's like high quality in small doses. That's what I wanted to say. But I'm going to use the Cirque de Tarot to get you some more information. Yeah, can we get some clarifying messages for pile number 1? What other additional messages do we have for this pile? What other information can we send their way? Please and thank you. What else can we tell them about this energy? Look at that, Page of Cups. Right? What else do we have? Please be patient with this deck. If you read tarot, you know that sometimes with new decks and this like cardstock, it's really slippery. Still working out the perfect shuffle technique. High Priestess, Knight of Cups. This is exactly what I was saying. You know what I mean? There are all these feelings. It's like two things, right? All these feelings, but also with this High Priestess, I'm getting like things in your subconscious, like things in your intuition that you've kept to yourself, right? And then Sun card, you're going to be bringing them to the light. You're going to be bringing them to the people around you. You're going to be bringing them to your surroundings, right? And this is going to open a new door for new beginnings, right? Just like, what is it? What is it? Because like, this is so interesting because kind of what I'm getting with this card spread here is that because you'll be more willing to share your emotions and you'll have groups of people who you're going to be able to send those emotions back and forth with, you know what I mean? And taking them out of your subconscious, taking them, you know, out of your intuition and actually bringing those feelings to the forefront, to the light with this Sun card, this is going to open up a new beginning for you. And it's with this Magician card, it's if you've been trying to manifest certain things, it's like it's not masculine manifesting with the Magician, it's feminine manifesting with the and look at like 3 of Cups, right? Feminine manifesting with the High Priestess, where you're using your emotions, you're using your vulnerability, you're talking about your dreams, your desires, your emotions, and through that process you're actually attracting the things that you want to manifest, right? The things are going to be coming to you and you're not going to have to work for them that hard. Yeah. Okay, what is this? This 10 of Swords in reverse. I don't think these are yours. Okay, but these are yours. Yeah, I don't think these are yours. Justice card. There's this card. This feels upright. And then the Ace of Wands, right? Justice card, Hanged Man, Ace of Wands. And this is just telling me, right, that like, this feels like a new circle, right? This also feels like a new circle because like with this Justice card, it feels like you've been in the past, you might have brought some of these feelings or these like, you know, I'm thinking about what if we take a vacation and go to this place, you know, or I don't really like the way that this person is acting, right? And you would bring those to your current group of friends or coworkers or colleagues or the people around you. And with this Hangman, they'll be like, oh girl, I think you're tripping. I don't think you know what you're talking about, right, girl? And then like the energy would kind of like stop and then it would kind of like fade away, right? But this Justice card is saying, especially with the 6 of Pentacles, this is also about balance just like it is here. That like when you give this energy, people are going to reciprocate the energy that you're giving you, and that's going to spark this new flame within you so that you'll be able to manifest and draw in new and more things. Yeah. Let me get you an action plan just so you can stay in alignment with this. But this sounds really good. I'm really excited for you. Okay, what action plan, what does number 1 need to do to stay in alignment with this energy and to actually attract and to, to call in this new beginning that they desire. Action plan for pile number 1, please and thank you. Knight of Swords in reverse. Okay, so this is like, so going back to that Page of Cups in reverse, if you have a hard time talking about it, you know what I mean? Or if you've had a long time of people like shutting you down, it's important that you don't let that history keep you from sharing these feelings and these intuitions with new people. Nine of Wands in reverse, Strength card, right? That's exactly what I was saying. The Nine of Wands in reverse is like, sometimes the Nine of Wands in reverse is acting like everything is okay when it's not okay. Again, when you start having those inkling feelings or your intuition is talking to you and you're acting like everything is fine, don't do that. You know what I mean? Actually bring it up to the surface and have the willpower. Know that, like, trust yourself. That's what I'm hearing. Trust yourself. The Strength card is saying trust yourself when your intuition and your feelings and your subconscious and your inner child is talking to you and saying, hey, this feels weird. This feels iffy. I don't know what's going on. Right? But the other part of this Nine of Wands in reverse is like, again, if you've been bringing those feelings up and a lot of people have been rejecting you and denying you, it's important, not to let that energy keep you from sharing these feelings and emotions with new people. Right? Don't project what old people were doing onto your new partnerships. Look at all of this. Right? 10 of Wands, Sun card in reverse, 5 of Wands, 10 of Wands, Sun card in reverse. This feels like a lot of conflict. This feels like a lot of hard work. This feels like a lot of barriers. This feels like you might have felt like really lonely, or you might have felt really isolated. You know what I mean? But again, Queen of Wands, you've really got to trust yourself and believe in it. There's so much wands here. This is like so much fire. The Strength card is even connected to Leo energy, right? This is trust. This is belief in yourself. And standing up for what you believe for. Or maybe not standing up for what you believe for, but knowing that you can do it. You know what I mean? Knowing that you're right and believing in yourself, and anybody who tries to tell you otherwise, you're like, you know what, you're wrong, I'm not going to do this. Now, this Sun card in reverse, right next to this 10 of Wands, it kind of feels like maybe don't blow up the spot. Maybe don't flip out on people. You know what I mean? But don't let other people's perceptions keep you from believing in yourself and things that you know to be true. Because, like, also I'm getting, I think I have 2 more for you. Look at this. You just keep getting straight wands. You got that Justice card again. What? Because also I'm getting that, like, but the Hermit card in reverse is, like, not trusting your own intuition. Right? This goes in so many different ways. It's like allowing other people to shut down your intuition, not trusting your own intuition, and then allowing other people not believing in you, to disencourage you from trying again, right? I know there's a lot there. I know there's a lot there. But that's just what we're saying, right? The Queen of Wands, she knows how attractive she is. She knows how powerful she is. She knows that her value is undisputable, and nobody can tell her, you know what I mean, what's right, what's wrong, or anything like that. Yeah, Justice card. There is a balance of, like, the balance with next to this Page of Wands of trying new things and trying to, what? Because they're showing me that, like, these feelings that you're having or these things that you're trying to share, there's a delicate balance of sharing them with new people. And again, going back to that Temperance card, it's like testing the waters. You know what I mean? This is just an example, but, like, if you want to talk about, okay, this is just an example to go with it. This is the one that they're giving me. But if you want to talk about your childhood trauma, you know what I mean? Maybe not talk about it with somebody that's, like, wholly brand new just because you got the impulse about it, right? Maybe take that back home to your journal. But because I'm getting that your intuition fires off all the time, and that may be the issue. If your intuition is firing off all the time and you don't always want to share it with people, and then sometimes your intuition may be a lot. I'm not going to say that it's a lot, but it's a lot for other people who aren't on a spiritual journey, who aren't conscious, who aren't tapped in, you know what I mean, with their subconscious. Yeah, but this Justice card in this Page of Wands, it really just feels like figuring out the delicate balance, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, of like, okay, these are new people, maybe I'm just going to talk to them about, like healing my inner child, see how they respond to that first, right? Before we go into talking about like childhood traumas. You know what I mean? Or, let's see if they're into astrology, before I say, that Pluto Moon conjunction was crazy that we had a couple of weeks ago, right? That's just kind of what I'm getting. Again, as you can see, this is like there's tons of red, there's tons of fire on this board. This Eight of Wands in reverse is saying that you just need to operate a little bit differently. You know what I mean? So whatever you've been doing in the past before this next chapter of your life, it is going to require you making some adjustments and trying some new things out. Yes, my love? Okay. These two cards I do want to show you that these popped out, right? The King of Cups in reverse and the Knight of Cups. This is lacking emotional maturity, and the Knight of Cups follows the Page of Cups, and this is the person who's completely okay with coming forward and being vulnerable. You know what I mean? And that word keeps coming forward for you, right? Being vulnerable, but being cautious. Yeah, there's a delicate balance. And again, they're showing me that Justice card in my mind's eye again. So just keep an eye out for that. And it's tricky. Because that's even the thing. Like temperance, it's balance. It's a little bit of this, it's a little bit of that. You have all these these duality, this Piscean energy. Maybe check out where you have like Pisces or Libra. Maybe even a little bit of like Gemini energy in your chart, right? Where there's this back and forth. There's this back and forth. There's this testing and this measuring and figuring out what's the right amount of vulnerability. How vulnerable can I be with these people? And how much is too much? Yeah. I kind of felt like that was over the place, but please let me know if that helps. Okay, look at these. I love this card for you. Let me read this. So this is from the Fairies Oracle, but you have wisdom. Have you ever been told that you're wise beyond your years? Now is the time to call upon your inner fairy wisdom to help you with a challenge. Yeah? This is what I was saying earlier. You are tapped into your intuition, and it's just about like, how are you bringing it forward into your reality? This fairy is telling you it's time to call upon your own inner wisdom in order to help yourself at a challenging time. Or perhaps someone you know could do with some insight into their situation. This wise fairy is accompanied by a white owl. Owls being a symbol of wisdom. She tells you it's time to trust your own knowing and reminds you that wisdom doesn't only come with age. Wisdom is the ability to see the bigger picture. So fly silently like the owl and hear and see everything before coming to a decision based on this wisdom. Being wise doesn't always mean you're right, but it does mean you have the ability to see into situations in a more impartial way than many others can, and for the highest good of all people concerned. We all have access to inner wisdom, and pulling this card shows it's time for you to trust this fully. You could find yourself being asked for help or to facilitate a healing between two or more parties. This is where wisdom comes in. Allow your intuition to speak through the filter of wisdom, but always remember that others have a choice and free will. So give loving advice, but not orders, as no one really likes being told what to do, including you. Yeah? Okay, and then this other one, Rose Without Thorns. Okay, you have a right to your joy, peace, and sweetness of life. Most roses have thorns that protect the plant. When you walk past, it's so easy to get caught on their spiky stems, as if the thorns themselves are an invitation for the observer to get to the breathtaking beauty and scent of the queen of all flowers in full bloom. However, there are a small number of roses that are unlike most, possessing few or no thorns, and that's what this card is all about. The Rose Without Thorns is an invitation to dive straight into the sweetness of your life, to rest into the softness, to enjoy the delicious fragrance, and to rest in and relish what it means to currently be alive in this body. To embrace all the beauty and bliss that life has to offer. You have a right to your joy, and the Rose Without Thorns wants you to take every ounce of it in right now. To celebrate and lose yourself in the sweetness of your life. This is a rare moment and time of deep peace and enjoyment. You're being called to taste all that it has to offer, to drink it all in. You deserve every single drop. You've worked for this moment. Embrace it now with open arms. It's safe for you to enjoy this, to welcome this, to embody all of this. And while life is ever changing and forever inviting us to grow, right now, your lesson is to delight in all of it. And then they have a meditation prompt, or what is it, an affirmation that says rows of transmission. I have a right to my joy. I appreciate and drink in the sweet nectar of my life. Again, that's that more like joy and playfulness and sharing those energies and emotions from your inner child and receiving it and giving it to other people who are responsive to that. Yeah, my love? Alrighty, beautiful. That's all I have for you. Don't forget to thank our ancestors, spirit guides, and angels for allowing me to deliver these messages to you. And until next time, this is XOMo. And again, I'm always available for private readings over at momagics.com. And I'll see you next time. All right, bye. Alrighty, hello, pal number 2, and welcome to your pile. If you chose pal number 2, I'm so sorry, but I do not know the name of this crystal. I do know that I'm gonna assume that it's like a agate geode or like a Yellowstone geode or something like that. It broke. This used to go here, but it like kind of snapped off, which kind of makes me sad. But yeah, this is it. I know this is for wisdom, some type of wisdom, child. But yeah, I'm gonna set this off to the side. Yeah, a little bit about the cards that I'm using today. Today, I am using my newest decks. You know what I mean? My newest Oracle decks and my newest Tarot card decks. These messages here are just going to be about what energy is coming your way, and then I'll be using the Cirque de Tarot to identify, to clarify and provide you with the action plan. Yeah, but let's just hop right into it. Ooh, excuse me. Ooh, excuse me. Okay. So this seems pretty clear. So you have the Knight of Pentacles, the Three of Wands, and the Hangman in reverse. Right? Knight of Pentacles, Three of Wands, you know what I mean? Just this new energy coming your way. But it okay, now that we're energetically, it kind of switches once we move on to the Hangman in reverse. But this feels like, just new career paths and new developments, new money, new prospects, new projects are coming your way, and they're actually coming in, right? But this Hangman in reverse, it feels like you're having a realization that either you don't need to be so hasty, or that the things are going to come in due time and perfect divine timing, right? There's a little bit of surrendering and meditation and just allowing the universe to take care of you and do its thing with this Hangman in reverse. Yeah, because this Knight of Pentacles and this Three of Wands, this feels like you making the decision, because I'm getting that there are these things that you've always wanted, and then and it's not necessarily that you haven't been working on them, or maybe you haven't been working on them, because the energy is switching there as well. One pile of you, y'all haven't been working on them because you were what if it never happens? You've been consumed by doubt, obsession, fear, you know what I mean? Doubt, lack, limiting beliefs, that type of thing, right? The other pile, the other side of some of y'all are y'all have been doing the work, but you've been doing it with also a little bit of, right, some of y'all haven't been doing it because you've been worrying about if it's going to come in, but the other part of y'all have been doing it, but y'all have been worrying about if it's going to come in, 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 right? And this Knight of Pentacles, this feels like y'all in the actual manifesting, the manifestations that y'all are waiting to come in, right? This Knight of Pentacles, it's slow and steady wins the race. It's diligent, it shows up in due time, but it is never rushed. It is never rushed. And some of y'all are deciding, okay, I'm going to vibe with this energy and I'm just going to ride this wave out because it's going to come in. It may not come in when I want it to come in, but I know that it's going to come in eventually. Yeah, and that's what the surrendering of the Hangman in reverse is. Y'all actually open up your hearts, and I'm feeling it in my heart chakra, and it actually feels so relieving, right? It actually feels so relieving to feel this energy, and it's just great. I just love this for y'all. I feel really happy. But let me get you some cards of clarification. Is there anything else we would like to tell pile number 2? Judgment card. Judgment. Seven of Wands. King of Wands in reverse. Again, this is what I was saying. Right, the Judgment card, it's like, if you knew better, you do better. You know what I mean? You reap what you sow, right? And the Seven of Wands is like, you're completely up for the challenge, and it's never about you. Some of y'all have never not been up for the challenge, right? Or like, I'm showing up, I'm doing this thing, but I'm not doing it impulsively. I'm not sure if I don't think all of these are yours. I'm not doing it impulsively with this King of Wands in reverse. I'm not doing it from a place of like selfishness. I demand, I want, I'm gonna get, I'm gonna take, I'm gonna force. It's not that. It's not that. It's not that. Again, Ten of Swords. You've been doing that for so long, and you're like, girl, or child, boy, it's not worth it. Even when you do it that way, if the thing does come in, it's not really fulfilling. And you know that now with this Nine of Cups. You know, you understand, and you get that in totality now. Oh, this one wanted to come out as well. Hermit card in reverse, the World card. You have learned the lesson that you cannot rely on yourself. That's also the King of Wands, you know what I mean? He's very, very, in reverse, he's very, 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 very selfish. He's very selfish, he's reckless, he's inconsiderate of other people's needs and desires. And this Hermit card and World card in reverse, you've really learned the lesson that that's not how things are going to work. That's not how things are going to work. Death card, you know what I mean? You're actually letting that go. Four Swords, and you're allowing this restful surrendering, this peace to come in. Yeah, I love this for y'all. Y'all better go off. Y'all better do the thing. I feel like I have one more for you. I have one more. Queen of Pentacles. Yes, what a great way to end this, right? Like, you're in this place where you trust your intrinsic value. You know that you're deserving. You know that the universe is going to provide. All you have to do is consistently show up, because the longer that you consistently show up, once the manifestations do arrive at your doorstep, you know it's going to be worth the wait. Because the longer you wait, the more quality, the more luxurious, the more expensive and opulent it's going to be. Okay? I love this. Let me drink my tea. Purr. But again, like, all this frantic energy, you've had enough of it, and that's what it is. You just got tired of living your life that way, because I'm getting that, like, you've been living your life that way for so long, and you've been forcing and stressing yourself, and the things were going to come in when they were going to come in, and you kind of walked upon that lesson. You know what I mean? You had that realization that all you have to do is really just trust, because you've gone through the rigmarole and the stress, truth burp, enough times to know that, like, you can chill out. You can chill out. As long as you're doing the work, there's nothing that you have to worry about. Yeah, let me get you a clear and concise action plan, and I'll send you on your way. Okay, so what does Pal need to do to stay in alignment with this energy and to make sure that they're continuously attracting it? Yes? Action plan for pile number 2. Action plan for pile number 2. Action plan for pile number 2. Not the double card. Okay, let's see. Okay. So, and now you have the Nine of Pentacles in reverse. This feels like working on your emotions or your obsessions, or the things that you like, you stress and you fear and you worry about, right? Ten of Wands in reverse. And look at this. You got the Hangman in reverse yet again. You know what I mean? So this is like, so what this really feels like is like, if you're a person who will just like, if you're somebody who will just work. Give me a second. This energy really feels like if you're somebody who's like, I'm just gonna work my stresses away. This Moon card and this Nine of Pentacles in reverse, this feels like you have a hard time working on your emotions or trying to develop your emotions, right? Like I was saying in the first part of the reading, some of y'all don't have a problem. Some of y'all don't have a problem working on your careers, but the problem that you do have is working with your emotions, working with your obsessions. Some of y'all working with your your addictions and temptations, you know what I mean? And those things actually get in the way of the work that you're actually trying to do. You know what I mean? You can't work for this pile. You like, I can say this about some other people, but for y'all, I'm getting a strong sense that you can't go to work and not work on your addictions. You know what I mean? Because your addictions or your temptations or your unhealthy emotional habits that you can get so wrapped up inside of, they'll end up consuming your careers. Or if they don't consume your careers, they'll just consume your life. Ten of Wands in reverse. You know what I mean? And then this honestly, and then this low key feels easy. It's easy, but it's difficult. You know what I mean? Because again, Hangman in reverse, twice we have it here. It's surrender. It's surrendering. You know what I mean? The Hangman, when we talk about the Hangman, they talk about the Hangman or even Pisces energy, Neptune, you know, this energy, it reaches this enlightenment, this nirvana. You see this halo around his head, you know what I mean? This complete knowing and understanding by just surrendering and letting everything go. You know what I mean? And that's why this is low-key easy, but it's difficult. Because the act of surrendering is easy. It's making the decision to surrender. You know what I mean? That's the difficult part. Making the decision to surrender is difficult. But you don't have to labor. You know what I mean? You don't have to go in through the Tower card or through the Five of Cups and then the Five of Wands and then, you know, all this other stuff, then the Death card. You just have to surrender. You just have to surrender. Yeah. What else? We have more action plan for you. Action plan for pile number 2. That's a lot of cards. I don't think that all of these are yours. I'm going to show them to you, though. 2 of Swords in reverse. 4 of Swords in reverse. Queen of Pentacles in reverse. But the Page of Wands, this feels like this could be meditation. You know what I mean? It could be just the fact of surrendering to the divine, to the universe, and trusting what they have for you. You know what I mean? That's new energy. That's new budding energy and trying it out that way. Uh-oh, I spoke too soon because y'all got the Tower card. You got the Tower card, the Seven of Wands. Okay, this is what's going on. Okay, so this is the warning. This feels like the warning. This feels like the warning, and you have the sixes here. Right? 616, right? Receiving information from the divine. Page of Wands, Tower card, 7 of Wands, Ace of Swords in reverse, 6 of Wands. This feels like the flip side of this, right? Where before I was saying, you don't have to go through this process. You don't have to go through this. But the good thing about it is, like, if you want to, you can, and you're still going to be successful with the 6 of Wands, right? You're still going to come out on top, but you don't have to do that. And that's the new energy coming in. The universe is giving you the energy to where you don't have to, Page of Wands, be immature, have a Tower card moment, have to fight off these other people, face these challenges, you know what I mean? Deal with lies, deceit, limiting narratives, you know, falsehoods, defaming your character, you know what I mean? You're going to beat the battle and come out on top either way, but you don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. 6 of Swords. You can just move forward. You can move forward in any way. And girl, look at this. Look at these angel numbers. 6 of Wands, 6 of Swords we had at the bottom of the deck. And we have the Hangman, which is represented by the number 12. Which, like, you know, is 6 twice. Right? 6 of Wands, 6 of Swords, 12, 12. What is it that you want to do? How is it that you want to proceed? How is it that you want to move on? Yes, my love. The choice is yours. Let me go get into your oracle cards. Okay. So you have ask for help, and then the rose thread. Ask for help. Angels are let me see if y'all can read this. Angels are celestial beings who protect everyone, and the fairies say now is the time for you to ask for angelic assistance. There are times in our lives when we need celestial assistance, and that time may be now. Angels are omnipresent, non-denominational beings who can be called upon for help by anyone at any time for any kind of assistance. from clearing congested traffic to fast healing after a medical procedure. Perhaps you're very independent and feel that you can sort out everything and anything on your own without help. Fairies, too, are generally self-sufficient creatures and can usually deal with any challenges that might arise. But on occasion, even the fairies need a little divine intervention and may ask for an angelic helping hand. It makes perfect sense. If we humans can call in the angels, why wouldn't the fairies ask for angelic intervention as well? This card may be telling you that an angelic boost would be beneficial for you, or someone you know at this time. With this card, the fairies are encouraging you to call on a personal guardian angel to help you through any tricky situation you may be experiencing. The fairies will also sprinkle some fairy dust on you to give you some cheer and joy during challenging times, or even if you just need a fairy boost. Be aware that sometimes fairies are referred to the angels of nature. Be aware that sometimes fairies are referred to as the angels of nature, or nature angels, but they're not celestial angels. The roles are very different from one another, though they sometimes meet somewhere in the middle. Remember that there are no rules and that the angels are happy to work with fairies and humans alike when it's for the highest good of all. Yeah? And then the other one you have is the Rose Thread, Inner Call, Soul-Led, Mystic, Living Courageously. Can you read that? The Rose Thread. This is the card of the mystic, the one who's in touch with the depths of the inner world and the inner weavings of the world and beyond. The one who's in touch with the depths of the inner world and the inner weavings of the world and beyond, way beyond. They're dedicated to listening to the mysterious voice whispering within them, to following their intuition and living in accordance with that, to living by being guided by the rose thread. Following the rose thread means being dedicated to walking the way of the rose, to being in service to humanity and dedicated to writing a new story. It requires courage and faith and the willingness to pave a new path. The rose has been a symbol of the mysteries for thousands of years. The rose thread is the invisible path that the mystic follows. It takes courage to trust it, for the path is different for every single person. This is why it requires courage to trust the inner call, and those who do so find great reward. This card is a sign that you are being called to follow this initiatory path, led by the thread deep within. You may find that you're in a place of great change and are being called to have faith and gather up the courage to take the next step. This card is a sign of encouragement to keep taking the next step. It's acknowledging the courage it takes to live a soul-led life and honoring you for always taking the leap. And then the rose transmission. Even when things feel unclear, especially when they do, I trust that I'm always led from within. Yes, it was a affirmation or meditation prompt for you. And that's all I have for you, my loves. Please thank our ancestors, spirit guides, and angels for allowing me to deliver these messages to you. As always, I'm available for private readings over at momagics.com. Don't forget to subscribe so you can find out the next time I release a new pick a card reading. And until next time, XOMO. Hello, pal number 3, and welcome to your pick a card reading. If you chose pal number 3, you chose the Emerald Crystal. Yeah. And just a little bit about this reading, I'll be using Cirque du Tarot to get clarifiers and an action plan for you. But if you're interested in any of these other decks, you can find the link to them in my Amazon storefront, and all that information will be down in the description bar. But I am using my newest decks today, just because I felt like it was fitting. Excuse me. I am using my newest decks today just because I felt like it was fitting to today's reading. So these are my newest Oracle decks and my newest Tarot decks. But without further ado, let's get into it, yeah. Okay. So you have the Sun card in reverse, the Six of Swords, the Star card in reverse, and the Knight of Wands in reverse. This Knight of Wands doesn't feel like a reversal. Let me sit with this because I'm a little... Okay. Okay, this makes sense. This makes sense. This actually is a... It doesn't feel like a reversal, but I'm going to explain why, but it is a reversal. So the Sun card in reverse, it feels like you were living a very extreme lifestyle, right? And it feels like the energy coming your way, it's chill. It's chill. It just feels so chill in the future. This new energy, this new wave coming your way. You know what I mean? And I think that's the thing, because this Knight of Wands, it feels like you were always chasing things, or you were always going at things recklessly. You know what I mean? There was a lot of energy. Maybe you were chasing money with the emerald, because I know emerald attracts abundance. But the Sun card in reverse just felt like too much of a good thing. Like, an example that's coming to mind is like maybe you were like a corporate baddie. You know what I mean? You were working in corporate America, but you were exhausted and tired all the time, and you didn't have any rest, and you didn't have any self-care time. You were never able to travel. And the Six of Swords is just saying you're moving on from whatever that energy was. Yes, it was good. Yes, you had a lot of a good thing. But the Sun card in reverse, it's kind of like a sunburn. You know what I mean? You stay in the sun for too long or during the wrong season and you get burned, right? And so, yeah, you made all that corporate baddie money, but then, like, you know, at what cost? You weren't happy. You had a terrible diet. You weren't sleeping. You didn't have a social life, and that's what you're moving on from, right? And then it's like, it kind of feels like you're going to the complete opposite end. The Star card in reverse is sometimes about just taking care of yourself, but it's like... this image that they're showing me, especially with this like little like pond or whirlpool, first you've got to empty yourself of what you got burned by, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Just going with that corporate example, you've got to empty your emotional life. You've got to change your psyche around that, like, my only existence is to make money. You're not doing that anymore. You know what I mean? So you've got to empty your emotional bucket or your emotional wellness pool, if you will, to invite something in that's a lot more chill. You know what I mean? Knight of Wands, like, it's chill, it's calm, it's relaxed, but it didn't feel like a reversal, because the Knight of Wands in reverse can be seen as chill, but the Knight of Wands upright, it didn't feel like a reversal because you're low-key running there. You know what I mean? You're low-key running towards it. And the Knight of Wands is very quick. He's very fast. Like, he could, like, you can't get out of this, like, Sun card in reverse situation fast enough. Right? And then even the Star card in reverse, like going back to that energy, it felt like that you could never have that. You weren't sure if you were ever going to be able to have, like, a calm, chill, relaxing life. You know what I mean? You never felt that it was going to be yours. You know what I mean? That was something that was, like, realistically livable for you. But the Star card in reverse is also about a perspective change, and all you had to do was change your perspective, and now you're sitting in this chill summer oasis. You're sitting in a sauna. You know what I mean? You're sitting in a hot pool 2 to 3 days out the week, and then you're going to the spa all the time just because you had a clear perspective change. Yeah? Let me get some clarifiers. What other information did we have for pile number 3, please and thank you? Eight of Swords, Chariot card, both in reverse. Page of Swords in reverse, Two of Cups in reverse. So this energy feels like, again, like you're emptying your emotional cup of what feels like other people's perspectives. Right? You know what I mean? Like, you're really sitting down and thinking, you're really, what is it? Like, you're going through, like, okay, I love this. Like, what is yours? This is so funny. So something that's coming through, this may not resonate for all of you, but you may have had a friend or even a partner with this Two of Cups in reverse and the Lover's card, Okay, this is getting really specific. Okay, this is a little drama. Okay, you may have had a partner, you know, or a friend or a spouse or a family member or somebody who was telling you that you had to live this sun card in reverse lifestyle, that it's just a reality, that you know what I mean, like cash, like cream, like cash rule everything around me. Life is all about the money, and you believed it and you bought into it, and because other people were telling you that, and it's like you honestly love this person, you know what I mean? But because they were telling you that this is the way that you were supposed to live, and they just they didn't know any better. If they would have known any better, they would have did better. You know what I mean? But you got caught up in believing in somebody else's like vision of life and how the way that you have to live, that you actually lost part of yourself, right? But there was this deeper feeling in you the whole time that knew, you know what I mean? But that's not truly my vision. That's not the type of life I want to live. That's not what I want to call home, right? This Eight of Swords in reverse is saying, and then even like this is kind of like you may have resonated with another pile because this image is just like it's just like pulling me to one of the other piles. But the Eight of Swords in reverse, you thought about it all the time, but you were like, you know, but this is the reality. This is the way that it is. And then even when you look at like, even when you looked at the world, you know what I mean? When like you were looking at the pandemic and the recession and all this stuff, like why would you think that you could live another lifestyle? But again, you come to the realization it's about a perspective shift. You know what I mean? The reality or the information does not change. It's the way that you look at it and analyze it, right? This Page of Swords in reverse is just saying this is somebody else's perspective. This is somebody else's, you know, information, the way that they're analyzing the information that's quite immature. It's not wise. And the way that they're analyzing and looking at the information is not for their highest and greatest good. They're kind of doing it from this anxious, you know, doubtful, fearful point of view, right? And you were partnering with that Two of Cups in reverse for so long. And the reason why I said this is getting a little juicy, because you may have walked upon this like realization because like there may be a third party involved. You may have found another lover, or you may have found like a new friend or something like that. But for some, there's somebody listening to this. There's somebody listening to this where like you low key like your old boo was telling you all this, but there's this new person who seems spiritually in tune, who's like a queen or king of swords, who knows that life is all about perspective, and they really just opened your eyes to the new perspective that you can have, and you've kind of fallen in love with this person on the low key. On the low key. That may not resonate for everybody, but I know that's resonating for somebody. Okay? What else? What other information do we have for pile number 3, please? Temperance card. Page of Cups in reverse. So again, like the reason why you were so susceptible to other people's points of views, you know what I mean? This Temperance card is that like again, you're definitely willing and in this place to live a virtuous lifestyle and to try something new. But these cards are kind of saying, and your guides want you to know this because it's important, that the reason why you were so susceptible is just because your childhood upbringing. You know what I mean? You have some childhood trauma, you know what I mean, where your old partner or your old group of friends or your old lifestyle or your old perspectives, they fell very much in line with the way that you were raised. You know what I mean? Your inner child didn't feel like they were safe. Your inner child knew that the only way to exist was by working hard. Eight of Pentacles. By working hard, by working difficult, you know what I mean? By working yourself to the bone. Right? Because either you see people growing up who were like kind of lazy and then they lost everything, or you had everything that you ever needed, but you only had that because your parents or your grandparents or whoever was providing for you was working themselves to the bone, right? And this King of Cups, they're just showing me that was the emotional model. That was the emotional representation that you had, right? And it works, right? It works. It works, but at what cost? You know what I mean? And again, they're kind of showing me like, I don't know who this King of Cups or this King of Wands, both in reverse, are. So either they lacked emotional maturity, or that like the way that they were living, they were working themselves to the bone, that they were just very angry. They were just very angry. Sometimes they would explode. Sometimes they were like a little reckless. You know what I mean? Sometimes I'm getting an image of somebody who would just like leave the house You know what I mean? For maybe a couple of days at a time because they were so exhausted, because they were so frustrated with the way that they told themselves that they had to live, right? And you've never had the willpower. You've had the willpower, but you never wanted to. Like, you always thought it was ghetto. You were always like, work myself to the bone. For what reason? I just saw 11:33 on my clock. Okay, girl. For what reason? And then here we have the Star card again. You see a new future for yourself, and you welcome in a new emotional abundance, new emotional feelings, a new emotional paradigm, if you will, right? They really want to land to this Temperance card that you being patient, you taking your time, you being virtuous, you being graceful, kind, and honest is going to go a long way in this new life that you're trying to live. Yes, my love? And let me get you an action plan. Can we get an action plan for... I just feel like it's a little crooked. You know what I mean? You can't really see. But I guess I'll see once I'm done recording. Can we get an action plan for pile number 3, please and thank you? How does pile number 3 stay in alignment with this energy? Oh, look at this. You definitely might have resonated with another one of the piles. You definitely might have resonated with one of the piles. Action plan for pile number 3, please and thank you. I don't think these wanted to come out, but I know that these are here. Whew. This 5 of Wands feels so explosive, if I'm being honest. Yeah, so your action plan, move these up a little bit. So your action plan, my loves. Okay, so with this Devil card, I really don't like that there's a glare, but I gotta find a way to fix that. I'm gonna figure something out for y'all. So you have the Devil card and the Ace of Cups. Again, this is that followed by the 3 of Swords in reverse. This is just telling me that it's your emotions. You know what I mean? It's like obsessions and a great amount of fear, and your emotions can feel so explosive. You know what I mean? But the 3 of Swords in reverse is about developing maturity. You know what I mean? If you relinquish all that fear, if you relinquish all that obsession, and then they're even showing me like that masculine figure that would be explosive or run out the house sometimes. You know what I mean? What is it? If you relinquish the things... this is so weird. If you relinquish the things that are making you feel that way, you know what I mean? This is like Saturn and Libra. You know what I mean? It's about letting go of things that make us feel comfortable, that we tell us it's the way that things are, but they actually are self-sacrificial in the long run. If you sacrifice immediate comforts for long-term gratification, or immediate gratification for long-term satisfaction, you know what I mean? It's going to pay off in the end. And this is a matter of maturity, mental maturity. If I let this thing go, if I change my perspective, if I drop these things that are actually causing me emotional pain, but I'm telling myself that it's reasonable and it makes sense, you know what I mean? I'll have access to new emotions, you know? Knight of Cups. And it even feels like, I don't want to say you're emotionally inept, right? But it kind of feels like in some ways you're emotionally inexperienced because you've silenced, you know, the emotional, the intuitive, the soft, the kind, the fun part of yourself for so long. And it's not about swinging the pendulum to the complete opposite end, right? Where you're always having fun and you're always spending money and you're always chilling and relaxing and living a comfortable lifestyle and you're never going to work, right? But just at card, it's logical that there should be balance. You know what I mean? Again, more Libra energy. Libra is an air sign, so it's quite masculine, which people don't really think about because it's ruled by Venus, and it's like pretty and it's attractive and it's diplomatic and it likes sharing and it likes fairness and diplomacy. You know what I mean? But this is all ruled by facts. And the facts of the matter is when you live too far on one on either sides of the spectrum, you miss out. You miss out. You know what I mean? Without a doubt. You know what I mean? So more on this action plan, Magician card in reverse followed by the Five of Wands. This Five of Wands continues to feel so freaking explosive. And it's like, the Magician card, I was gonna say that you don't have, like, it's like two things, right? It's like, don't manifest this highly competitive energy. And competition is fine, but competition to the point where you're exhausted. And competition to what end, right? Again, Page of Swords in reverse, Knight of Swords in reverse. Who is telling you to be competitive and for what reasons? If you're going to be competitive, make sure that you're competitive with yourself, or that the reason that you want to be competitive, it's so that you can feel a reward at the end of the day. This is just an example, but again, going to the example of that corporate bratty where we've got to be competitive, where we've got to be the best in the company, in the field, you know what I mean? Just so that the CEO can get like a $500,000 like monetary bonus. You know what I mean? What does that have to do with you? How does that benefit you? You know what I mean? Why do you want to be competitive? Maybe you want to be a better you than you were yesterday so that you can have access to more health. You know, you can develop a better like spiritual or meditative practice. You know what I mean? You're physically stronger than the person you were yesterday, last month, last year, or last week. Right? So again, there's more about like figuring out which perspectives are yours. You know what I mean? Why do you want to improve? For what reasons do you want to be competitive? You know what I mean? And then which ones are like just foolishness and have nothing to do with you? Yeah. And we have the Chariot card in reverse at the bottom of the deck again. Now, let me get you your Oracle cards. Okay. So you have Protection and Rapture. Protection. The fairies of protection are shielding you with the magical fairy ring of love and light. Practice psychic protection before embarking on any spiritual work. Now let me read it in the book. The fairies of protection are forming a powerful fairy ring of light around you, or someone close to you, providing the extra boost of protection that's needed right now. If you're especially sensitive or empathic, you might find yourself picking up vibes from places or people around you. These may include unpleasant vibes as well as good ones. And this is where the fairies of protection come in, because the ring of rainbow light acts as a protective shield from any unwanted energies. When we're psychically open, we act as a beacon and can attract different types of energy. Some of these energies may be unwanted. So the fairies of protection remind you to use psychic protection when undertaking any kind of spiritual work or meditation, and will give you their own protection as well. This card is also a reminder to make sure you stay spiritually grounded, which can add an extra layer of psychic protection. A simple way to do this is to visualize a long tree root growing from the base of your spine and going deep down into the earth. The protection from a fairy ring of rainbow light can give you more confidence during your spiritual practice and meditation. So if you need an extra layer of spiritual security, ask the fairies of protection to provide it. The fairies also may be nudging you to protect someone else spiritually or physically, but always ask permission before assisting anyone. It's important to remember that we all have free will and the right to choose whether or not we'd like any spiritual help. Yeah. Definitely check out my series on spiritual protection. I have like a video about like spiritual crystals and tools. I do still got to drop the video on protective rituals, but check that video out. You know what I mean? If you need something to add into your practice or need some more ideas. And then you have a Rapture. Not the Rapture girl. What does this say? Okay, there we go. Sensuality, not it. Left focus. Sensuality, love, devotion, romance, ecstasy, and pleasure. Yeah. Flora is the ancient Roman goddess of spring and flowers. In one myth, she was struck by Cupid's arrow and overwhelmed by love and completely breathless. In a moment of rapture, she called for Eros. I'm not sure. Flora is the ancient Roman goddess of spring and flowers. In one myth, she was struck by Cupid's arrow and overwhelmed by love and completely breathless in a moment of rapture. She called for Eros. However, the sound rose came out of her mouth instead. So rose became another word for Eros. And it also became the symbol for love, beauty, and passion. Read another version of the story about Flora naming the rose on page 18. Okay, I'll go to that. Many patriarchal religions have placed a shameful cloak around sensuality, sex, pleasure, ecstasy, rapture, and sexuality. One of the most natural, pleasurable parts of life has become conditional and judged. The rose wants us to heal from this and to remember that pleasure, sensuality, sexual preference, and expressions of desire can be some of the most sacred, miraculous things about being a human on earth. This card comes as a message about receiving and giving love and pleasure. Flora wants you to know that your sensuality, your passion, and your sexuality, no matter how you identify, are sacred and holy. She wants you to connect with your sensual true nature and to celebrate this in all people. And then they have a rose transmission, a meditation prompt, or affirmation. My sensuality is sacred and holy. Other people's sensuality is sacred and holy. I open myself up to express and to receive love in a way that feels safe and good to me. I release painful programming and experiences and return to love. Now I'm going to go to the other version of the story about Flora naming on page 18. Let me see. Okay. Okay, so this is it. I'm going to read it to you as well. The rose in myth and legend. In mythology and the literature of ancient Greece and Rome, the rose is the powerful symbol of love and beauty. Homer's The Iliad describes how rose oil was used to anoint the body of Hector, who was then embalmed by Aphrodite, the goddess of love, beauty, pleasure, and fertility. Aphrodite, she's coming through strong right now. Aphrodite is often portrayed with a crown of roses on her head, and she was honored with bountiful amounts of white roses. This is really making a lot of sense. White roses are really, really good for new beginnings. So definitely get yourself some white roses. I have I may share, if y'all want to know, I have a white rose ritual. If you want to know about it, just let me know and I'll make a video. Yeah, and she was honored with bountiful amounts of white roses. Legend says that the rose itself sprang from Aphrodite's tears at the death of her lover Adonis, and then it turned from white to red when a drop of the goddess's blood fell upon it. Aphrodite's son, Eros, the god of love and sexual desire, was often depicted with a wreath of roses. In the three Graces, ancient Greek goddesses associated with beauty, charm, nature, creativity, and fertility, are said to have scattered roses all over the earth to celebrate the union of Psyche, the goddess of soul, and Eros. Worship of Aphrodite was adopted by the Romans. Worship of Aphrodite was adopted by the Romans. They named her Venus, and she became associated with the garden. One of the most famous depictions of Venus is Italian artist Sandro Botticelli's 15th century painting, The Birth of Venus. It captures the ancient myth in which Venus is birthed from the foam of the sea, and where the foam fell, white roses grew. In one Roman story, Flora, the goddess of spring and flowers, discovered the body of a beautiful nymph in the forest. Grief-stricken, she prayed for it to be transformed into the most beautiful flower ever known. The three Graces and Venus then turned the nymph's body into a rose, and from that day on, the rose became known as the queen of all flowers. In another Roman myth, the goddess Sibyl, or Cybele, or Magna Mater, Great Mother, is said to have created the rose because she was jealous of Venus and wanted something more beautiful to attract Adonis. Yes? Alrighty, this one was pretty lengthy. I appreciate your time, but please thank our ancestors, spirit guides, and angels for allowing me to deliver these messages to you. As always, I'm available for private readings over at momagics.com. And yeah, please subscribe so that you know. Please subscribe so that you can receive more messages or more pick a card readings whenever they're uploaded. And until next time, this is XOMO. Bye. Hello, pal number 4, and welcome to your pick a card reading. If you chose pal number 4, then you chose this labradorite heart crystal. Really good at, like, you know, connecting you to other realms and energetic transmutation. It's a good protective energy, especially for those who, like, have a pretty solid spiritual practice or spiritually advanced, if I do say so myself. Yeah. But yeah, so all the decks I'm using today are my newest decks. I just felt like it was going to be fitting for the purpose of this reading. If you would like any of the decks you see featured, you can find them over at my Amazon storefront. The link for that will be in the description bar. But let's hop right into it. Excuse me. Ooh. Okay, so what I'm getting for pal number 4 with this, like, broad stroke overview, what I'm getting for pal number 4 is that, like, you kind of have the belief in the willpower that you can put something down. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to do this anymore, that you don't have to go back and forth with this person. Because it's like, this may be like a relationship, because I'm getting, like, my heart chakra, like, my heartstrings are being tugged on right now. But it feels like you want something so bad. Like, you want it so bad. Like, there's this ache and this desire. You may have resonated with another pile, but you just want something so goddamn bad. And I don't even know why you want it, if I'm being honest, right? But by keeping this thing and wanting this thing, you kind of have to juggle drama. You have to juggle drama and competition, and conflict. And not that conflict is necessarily always a bad thing. You know what I mean? But this thing intrinsically comes with a certain amount of conflict, and I'm just getting that you believe that you can go throughout life without this thing. Yeah, this feels like kind of like really heavy, because it's like you don't want to go throughout life without this connection, without this person, without this career path, without this thing, right? But the new energy coming into your life is the belief that you can finally put this thing down, right? Strength card is willpower, believing that you can do something. And this Two of Pentacles, it's about you juggling things. This is Capricorn and Jupiter. There are so many things in the world that you can juggle, but I'm really getting the sense that you decide that you want to juggle something else. Because this energetic thing that you're putting down is fraught with conflict. And it's like, it's been a slow burn. It's been dying for quite some time. But now your perspective, your belief, you know, your willpower, it's catching up with this slow death process. Like, this may have been something that's been dying for some years now. It just feels like it's been so long, my loves. Right? But yeah, because I'm kind of getting, you know, I don't want to fight anymore. I don't want to argue anymore. I don't want this conflict. I don't want this competition. I don't want this struggle, strife, trials, and tribulations anymore. So I'm going to put that thing down, because this thing honestly feels like high value. It feels very quality. You know what I mean? But again, like your belief is catching up with you. This thing is high quality, but there are high quality things that can beat the quality of this thing, if that makes sense. Yeah. I'm gonna get you some clarifiers. What other information do we have for pile number 4? And thank you. What else can we tell this pile? And girl, this feels like, okay, so they're giving me like really strong images, so some of y'all may be clairvoyant here. But let me just, so this is a crab, right? They're showing me a crab, which makes sense for this queen of this Cancer energy. Cancer really likes, it's funny because I was thinking about Cancer energy while taking a walk today. But you want to preserve something. There is something that you want to preserve because it makes your insides feel nurtured and soft and plush and cushy and loved. You know what I mean? But there's also this hard exterior, right? But they're showing me a crab. They're showing me kind of like two. There's like a hermit crab, and I know that the hermit crab, they move from shell to shell, and then they're like, this hermit crab, they're carrying this shell that they can't fit in any longer. So they're just dragging it along the beach, you know, until they find a new shell, which I'm pretty thinking, I think that's how it works. If I'm being honest, I think that's how it works. I think hermit crabs, they travel. We could do the research on that, but I'm pretty sure like hermit crabs, they travel in their old shell until they find a new one, right? But then there's this other image of there's the crab that already has a shell. It's not a hermit crab. It's like your regular like crab that you just find walking along the beach. But this crab is carrying a boulder. This crab is just carrying this hard, stiff boulder. They're pulling sand along. It's like obstruction. But they are looking for a new boulder, or they're looking for a new crab shell. And just kind of the image that your guys are showing me is that if you just drop the boulder and you drop the shell, you can find a new shell much faster, much quicker if you weren't pulling along this thing that you've clearly outgrown. Yeah. Okay. So back to this Queen of Cups in reverse and this Two of Wands in reverse. Girl, this is ghetto. And I like ghetto shit, but not this. This is corny ghetto. So with the Queen of Cups in reverse, this is just like Two of Wands in reverse. Again, they're showing me, they're bringing me back to these crabs, but there's this sense of like emotional comfort. There's this emotional sense of well-being, and you want to become a different person. You want to become a new person. You want to become a different person. You want to become a new person, but you can't with these old emotional habits, with this old connection, with this old this old coping mechanism. You know what I mean? You're kind of dragging it along. Two of Wands in reverse. It's from your past. And girl, it's from your past. I'm hearing at least 3 years ago. It's from a version of yourself at least that existed at least 3 years ago, maybe more. And the Seven of Wands in reverse, you tell yourself that you can't do it, that you can't put this thing down, that you don't want something else. But the Seven of Wands in reverse, is just saying, just by telling because you're just opening yourself up to conflict. You know what I mean? Tower card in reverse, it's like you're currently standing in a burning building by choice. The building is already going down. Girl, get out. And like there are these limiting self-beliefs. There are these lies. These like question marks at the top of these person's head are really coming to mind. You know what I mean? They're like questions, but these are ideas, but they're confusing. They're confusing. Full card. You want something new. You don't want this anymore. You know what I mean? But again, this is Uranus energy. Uranus, it's a trendsetter. It's like one of the weirdest planets in our solar system because I believe it sits on a 98% axis or something like that, where most of them, they're a little bit vertical. This one is almost completely like rotated to the sides, but this makes it very futuristic. It's very unpredictable, and it's very erratic. You know what I mean? And you kind of got to do that. You've kind of got to do something like erratic and wild and out of this world to invite this new future into your life. Hangman in reverse, like surrender. You just have to surrender. You have to surrender. You know what I mean? Chariot card. Think about the vision that you want, the type of life that you want to live, and whether this thing can fit into that lifestyle or not. Strength card. Yet again. Judgment card. Yet again. So this is like, I'm just thinking about like, you know, what was it? It was like we had like a moon, Pluto, and sun conjunction all with Pluto as it like transits the final degrees of like Capricorn. Judgment card. You know what I mean? And then like Pluto is still going to be in Capricorn for quite some time. You know what I mean? So you're probably going to feel this energy, which is kind of why this feels so slow. It's Pluto and Capricorn. Like Pluto, I think Pluto transits every sign for like 15 years. You know what I mean? But this is Pluto energy, and Pluto comes through to destroy and to transform things so that we truly have something better. We truly have something better. And just knowing that this is transiting through Capricorn, it has to do with your career, it has to do with your status. You know what I mean? And I would also take a look in your chart to see what house Capricorn rules. Yeah, strength card. You know what I mean? It's your willpower. It's really where you want to go, the type of life that you want to live, and who it is that you want to become. Justice card. This came out, it fell in reverse, but it feels upright, right? Justice card, this is about being balanced. This is about being logical. This is about taking your emotions out of the equation and being, tapping into your emperor energy. Not settling for less, having like clear, strong boundaries, and what is it? It's a little bit sacrificial. You know what I mean? The emperor knows that he cannot, that in order to have success, he must sacrifice certain things that are no longer servicing him. You know what I mean? Not everybody is an emperor. Like no shade, but if you don't want to be an emperor, maybe this reading isn't for you. But if you want to be top tier, you know what I mean? You got to let go of the BS. You know what I mean? If you want to rule, if you want to have an empire, again, this is more Capricorn energy. If you want to sit at the top, Capricorn rules the 10th house. It sits at the top of the chart. If you want to be at the top, the lackluster things that are keeping you from getting there, they must be sacrificed. Devil card in reverse. This is more Capricorn energy. There's so much Capricorn energy on this that keeps coming through, right? Devil card in reverse. The thing about Capricorn also really, really likes control. You know what I mean? Devil card in reverse. It's kind of like, it's like temptation. It's kind of like feminine energy. It's so attractive. Whatever this thing is, you want it so bad. You desire it so bad. And the devil card energy, it's really good at making you think that you want this thing and that you're helpless and that there's nothing that you can do about it. But the whole time, devil card in reverse, it's just a matter of you making a decision. It's just a matter of you making a decision. Again, check out where the Capricorn energy is at in your chart, because Capricorn, Capricorn is an equal match for the devil card, which is why the devil card is ruled by Capricorn energy. You know what I mean? Let's get you an action plan. Can we get an action plan for pile number 4? Please and thank you. Action plan for pile number 4, please and thank you. Look at that, Emperor card again. Your guides are really emphatic. You know what I mean? Who is it that you want to be? What type of emotions do you want to have? They're saying that this connection, like, your guides are saying that this connection, or just this thing that you have this strong attraction towards, that you really want to carry and juggle with you. You know what I mean? They're not saying that it's not valuable. It is valuable. It is valuable. You know what I mean? That the emotions tied to this with this Ace of Cups, they're so strong. They're so powerful. You know what I mean? But the Ace of Cups is also about what? New emotions. You want new emotions. King of Pentacles, you want new abundance. You know what I mean? King of Pentacles, this could be a husband. This could be a wife. You know what I mean? This could be the person you're getting married to. This could be your forever partner. High Priestess. This could even be a new connection with, like, okay. This could be a new connection with your intuition, but I also heard the word soul ties. This could be a new soul tie. You know what I mean? This is like really intense energy. But you did pick the labradorite crystal, which is a pretty intense crystal, if I do say so myself. Empress card in reverse, right? What is it like? This is so interesting. Okay, so this reading is getting so complex. You have the Hangman again about surrendering. What is it? What it's like, the word that's coming through with this Empress card in reverse is like, what is it that you deserve? What is it that you deserve? Because I'm also like, they're also showing me that like when we let go of this thing, it's going to be a clean sweep. But that's kind of how the Judgment card, that's kind of how Pluto works. You know what I mean? Pluto has no problem taking extra collateral. Pluto has no problem blowing your whole life up and saying, you know what, I know this hurts, but you'll be all right. right? And the thing is, like, you don't want it. This Empress is screaming, but I don't want that. But she's also screaming, but what is it that I deserve? What is it that I deserve? You know, taking us back to this Emperor and this King of Pentacles. You know what I mean? I feel like the theme of today has been surrendering. You have the Seven of Wands yet again. Okay, like, girl. Action plan, what? I think we have 3 more cards. Devil card. You know what I mean? It's like, it's up to you, babes. You know what I mean? 7 of Wands. You have to pull the cord. You have to say that I don't want this anymore. You know what I mean? You have to step up to the challenge. You have to step up to the challenge. Cause like if you don't have to, but all you're doing is stunting your growth. Again, you are sacrificing what it is that you truly deserve for what? Whatever it is, I don't know what it is. Child, but the 7 of Wands in this Devil card is saying that you can step up to the challenge. This is Leo. What is this? Leo and Mars energy, I think. It's definitely like Leo energy. But it's saying, I'm here to fight. I'm here to challenge. I'm here to take control. I'm fighting for what I believe. I'm fighting for what I deserve. And this impulsive, toxic, tempting energy is as beautiful and wonderful as it feels. I know that if I sacrifice it, I'm going to be rewarded in the long run. You know, the universe is going to give me something even better. If I surrender this, the universe is going to fulfill my wildest dreams to where it feels like I didn't even have to make a sacrifice. Right? Right? Queen of Pentacles in reverse. This is, again, like Saturn and Libra. I was just telling one of the other pals this, right? Saturn and Libra energy. When we sacrifice our immediate gratifications, you know what I mean? The universe provides us with long-term satisfaction. Yeah. Saturn and Libra energy. It feels good. It feels luscious. It feels like the inner side of like crab legs. They really love this crab metaphor. It's soft. It's sweet. It's luscious. You know what I mean? But if we sacrifice that, this is just a metaphor. And if you don't eat meat or like seafood, you know, girl, if it don't apply, let it fly. But if we sacrifice crab, we'll get lobster. Not to say that lobster is better than crab, but you get what I'm saying. You get what I'm saying. You know what I mean? If we sacrifice the crawfish, we're going to get some shrimp. This is so funny. Right? But if you do not do that, all you're really sacrificing is the career of your dreams, the relationship of your dreams. You know, your ability to be the wife or the husband or the divine counterpart to this King of Pentacles. You know what I mean? This is so interesting. There's something else. I have one more message for you that they just want to say about this Queen of Pentacles in reverse. What else? So you do have the Chariot card at the bottom of the deck. I'm sorry, I kind of like stacked them on top of it. But again, the Chariot card is about the vision. How do you feel at home? This is Cancer energy. So again, check out where Cancer and Capricorn are at in your chart. Because there's like Cancer, there's home, there's the mother, and Capricorn, it's the father, it's the career, you know what I mean? It's status, you know, it sits at the top of the chart. Cancer sits at the bottom of the chart. It's so funny that all the visions from my walk today have come up during this reading. Queen of Pentacles in reverse. Okay, so they're saying if you want to be the Queen of Pentacles in reverse, you want to be impulsive, you know what I mean? You want to rely on yourself. You know what I mean? You don't want the help of the divine. You know, you don't want the highest and greatest good that the universe has for you and for everybody involved. Right? It's, girl, they're saying it's just immature. That's really it. Right? But if you move forward, you have nothing to worry about. Because right now it seems like you're worried. There's a constant sense of worry. You know what I mean? And it's like something is following you around. And it's like, girl, what if, bitch? Child. You know what I mean? But like, if you move forward, if you move past all this and move forward with the Six of Pentacles into uncharted territory, Nine of Swords in reverse, you'll have nothing to worry about, and you'll actually live in emotional ease. You'll live in emotional ease. Right, my love? Ace of Cups in reverse at the bottom of the deck. You will lose this emotional connection. You'll lose a lot of the emotions that you have right now, but you'll get something new. Yeah. Again, that's the Death card. That's why the Death card is one of my favorite cards. If you look at it, this process, it's good God, is it tragic? You know, we've got the Grim Reaper on this horse, this person, this dead body, this dark murky river. You know, and this child, this woman, she knocked out, girl. And this old woman, she pleading, help me, please, help me, please. But you have the sun in the distance signifying a new day, a new dawn will definitely come. What was I saying? I'm not sure if it was about marriage, but we have sacred union. We have sacred union. Somebody's marriage is in the throes here. Motivation. When spring approaches the... Let me read this one first, and I'm a little parched. It's always the fourth pile. It's always the fourth pile that be wearing the girls out, honey. 20:44 on my clock. Motivation. I'm hearing that song. What is it by? Kelly Rowland? No, that's not motivation. There was something else by Carrie Hilson, but let me get on with this reading. When spring approaches, the flower fairies urge you to spring into action. If there's something you've been merely thinking about doing, they say get busy and do it. I know that's right. The flower fairies, also called Pillywiggins, are super excited to fly into your cards. They know you have a special task at hand, and they're here to encourage you to get on with it. Working with flower essences, aromatherapy, and scented candles will help you to tune into the flower fairies. The scent of a flower can have a powerful healing effect on your mind, body, and spirit. Perhaps you could bring some fresh flowers into your home, ideally still growing on the plant rather than cut flowers. Wearing colorful clothing in the same shade as your favorite flowers can also help you to feel uplifted, as well as brightening the day of anyone who sees you. The women of Rajasthan in India wear bright colors and are referred to as the flowers of the desert. Seeing them certainly lifts the spirit. Call on the flower fairies if you feel you're lacking motivation. It's said that the best way to get something done is to ask a busy person, or, in this case, some busy fairies. They might not do the job for you, but they will certainly help to motivate you. You can connect to them easily by being outside next to some flowers, or inside your home near a potted plant in bloom and saying, "Flower fairies, I call on thee to motivate and inspire me." The flower fairies will leave a sign or two over the coming days or weeks. Just pay extra attention so you don't miss the creative ways in which they impart their flowery wisdom. And then we have sacred union. Beloved within, inner and outer relationships. I knew I was getting like marriage vibes, because it's just like the King of Pentacles and the Queen of Pentacles, they just come up when it's time to get married. Okay, cool. Sacred union. I love the way that I think those are carnations. This is the Rose Oracle, so I feel like the white ones are rose, but that looks like a carnation to me. Anyway, relationships are how we grow. They cradle and stretch us. Through connection and division, love and hurt, compassion and separation, they invite us to return again and again to the most important relationships we'll ever have, the one with ourself, the sacred union that's been waiting within. Ancient mystery teachings whisper secrets of sacred unions, Hieros Gamos, sacred marriage. In early Christian mysticism and Kabbalah, sexual alchemy in ancient Egyptian teachings, in Yabyum, father-mother, in Tibetan Buddhism, We're familiar with mystic couples such as Isis and Osiris, but we each have sacred masculine and feminine within. A sacred union through external relationship is always an invitation to deepen the union within. I need to read that again. And sacred union through external relationship is always an invitation to deepen the union within. Every relationship can be seen as an invitation to deepen the connection with the beloved within, even our most challenging relationships, especially the most challenging ones. The sacred union isn't just between you and another, it's returning to yourself. And when we return to ourselves, we also return to humanity as a whole. Maybe you're being invited to grow through relationships. Perhaps you feel like you're being tested or stretched, or find yourself longing for something external. This is an invitation to deepen the connection within, to embrace yourself fully, and to treat yourself like the most precious person on the planet. The more embraced you feel, the easier it is to embrace others. And then the journaling or meditation prompt is, how can you embrace yourself more? You know, this is really beautiful. Okay, I feel honored to deliver this message to you. Please thank our ancestors, spirit guides, and angels for allowing me to deliver these messages to you. And then, like, your guides are telling me that the way through this situation, again, is by going within. You have to go to yourself. Because, again, I'm getting that, like, there's a lot of, like, focus on outside parties. You know what I mean? But do this for yourself. Do this for the future you desire. Do this for the future you deserve. Again, Chariot card. Do it so that you can come home to yourself and that you can build the home that you everlasting want in the vision of your life. Yes, my loves, that's all I have for you. Please thank our ancestors, spirit guides, and angels. And as always, I'm available for private readings at momagics.com. Hit that subscribe button so that you can find out the next time I upload a video. And as always, this is XOMO. Bye.